for joining us virtually and in person. Thank you for coming. We are here this morning to have our public meeting in regards to the federal funds that we receive from the U.S. Department of Housing and Urban Development, specifically our CDBG was Community Development Block Grant and our Home Investment Partnership Act funds, as well as ESG. I am Sarah Parks Jackson, the Director of the Department of Housing and Community Development. So welcome. I would like to introduce, before we get going, part of the staff of the department, Ms. Kelly Glenn, who is our department administrator. Turn around so the people can see you. DeRay Broadus, who is one of our housing development specialists. Prentice Jackson, who's over there manning the IT, Senior Development Specialist. And Dana, I know you thought I wasn't going to introduce you, but I am. Stand up, Dana. Some of you have talked to Dana Carter from time to time when it came to reimbursements and what was needed. So again, I'm going to turn it over to staff, and we're going to get started, and hopefully you learn a lot and ask as many questions as you need to. So thank you. If you need a parking pass, because you parked in the garage, just come in the back at some point and see me, and I will give you that pass.
Well, good morning, everyone. Again, my name is Kelly Glenn, and I am with the Department of Housing and Community Development. Just to give you just a little bit of background about myself, I came here from HUD, the Columbus Field Office, and prior to that, I have worked for the City of Cleveland, the City of Lorain, and Lorain County, and also Tri-C. So I have a gamut of experience doing various different types of projects, and I'm also a graduate of the Masters of Public Administration with the Cleveland State College of Urban Affairs. Okay, so I'm going to start with the history of CDBG. It is one of the longest funded programs that the federal government has through the Department of Housing and Community Development. It was established in 1974, but actually started being implemented in 1975. Additionally, CDBG, there are 3 eligible type projects you can do: urgent need, low to income. I'm getting tongue tied here. I lost my train of thought right there. You want to help me, DeRay? Because I forgot. I think I'm a little nervous. I think.
So 3 national objectives, that would be urgent need, low moderate income benefit, as well as a slum blight area benefit.
Okay. I'm okay now. Thank you. I don't usually get nervous. I don't know why I'm nervous today, but hey, there's a first time for everything. Also, there are various types of eligible projects. You can do senior centers, you can do ADA sidewalks, street improvements, housing rehab, homeowner rehab, fair housing counseling, different various public service projects, Meals on Wheels, youth programs, senior centers, just to name a gamut. I don't want to go into the details because when DeRay comes up, she's going to give you more specific types of projects that we have done in the past, specifically with the Muni grant. And and I want to talk about our allocations for this year. For CDBG, we are getting $4,055,322. We are also going to be funded with home funds. That'll be $2,642,112. And we are getting HESG, $345,109. In the home program, there's only 4 types of projects that you could do. You could do home buying, rental assistance, oh, I keep getting, wait a minute, I can't read my own notes. Home buying, rental assistance. You could do, provide rental assistance like TBRA. You can also do build affordable rentals with home funds. So but generally our department does, we build rental, new construction. And we're not going to do just general new construction. Also, we have the ESG program, but that is run through the health department. And ESG funds, which is Emergency Solutions Grant, which used to be called the Emergency Shelter Grant. So we are going to do, you could do rapid rehousing, supportive services, street outreach, and homeless prevention. And those funds for this year will be used with a combination of those activities. I'm going to give it to DeRay to go in more detail because we're specifically here for the Muni grants, and everybody that's here gets an extra 5 points towards their competitive application. No.
Thank you, Kelly. Good morning, everyone, virtual and in attendance. My name is DeRay Broadus. I am a development specialist for the Department of Housing and Community Development. Cuyahoga County has a cooperative agreement with 51 urban county communities, and this agreement requires us to use 40% of CDBG funds after deductions for Muni grants. It is written within this agreement that this must be a competitive process, and the CDBG Muni Grant Program is eligible to those 51 urban county communities. The CDBG Muni Grant Program has successfully funded a variety of community development projects related to the health and welfare of our communities. A few previous successful projects from our CDBG Muni Grant Program has been in ADA improvements, for example, Brooklyn Heights ADA restroom project for their public park. In Mayfield Heights, installation of ADA playground equipment and surfacing project. Garfield Heights Dan Costal Rec Center infrastructure and accessibility improvement project. A few public facility improvement projects we funded were in Richmond Heights, their Fire Station 1 roof replacement. Fairview Park Public Facility Regional Improvement Project. Brooklands Recreation Center Natatorium Room and Skylight Replacement. And home repair, North Randall's Housing Rehab and Preservation Program. Woodmere's Exterior Home Maintenance Program. And Parks and Playgrounds, Bedford's Gazebo and Train Station Repair Project. And Maple Heights, their Stafford Park Restoration Project, Phase 2, construction of a shelter and band. And we did a multitude of street and infrastructure improvement projects successfully, including Warrensville Heights, Granada Boulevard Reconstruction, Street and Road Repair Project, Phase 4. We funded South Euclid, South Belvoir's Boulevard Phase 2 Concrete Repair Project. In Middleburg Heights, Bardbury Avenue Resurfacing Project. Cuyahoga Heights, East 71st Street Stabilization Project. In Berea, Emerson Avenue Improvement Project. And for public infrastructure, in Olmsted Township, Cook Road Sidewalk Project. Oakwood Tryon Road Pedestrian Safety Improvement Project. And in North Olmsted, Brook Park Road Underpass Pedestrian Safety Enhancement Project. And that's to name a few of our successfully completed projects through our CDBG Muni Grant Program. Currently, we have several projects in progress from this year's CDBG Muni Grant Program, including North Olmsted Senior Center renovations. We're funding Maple Heights Senior Center Emergency Generator Project, Richmond Heights Community Center Fire Suppression Initiative, Garfield Heights Civic Center parking lot improvements, North Royalton Memorial Park ADA parking lot improvements, South Euclid's A Playground of Possibilities restoration project at Bexley Park, where they will be installing ADA playground equipment. Fairview Park, Metro Parks Connectivity Lighting Project. Highland Hills will be providing a gathering space for their residents and funding their Pocket Park project. Parma Heights, resurfacing of Denison Boulevard. Brooklyn's Southwood Drive Water Main Project. Oakwood First Place Pavement Improvement Project. And in Shaker Heights, Lee Road Storefront and Exterior Improvement Program. And North Randall's Housing Rehab and Restoration 2024 program. And that's just to name a few of the projects that we have in progress with our CDBG Muni Grant Program. Okay. And now we're going to go into the new updated revised application. There has been some significant changes to the CDBG application. As mentioned earlier, this is a competitive process, and we wanted to eliminate any ambiguity that there has been in the application when our committee is scoring that. So we want you all to be able to receive the most points possible and be successful in that scoring process. Okay. So on the first pages, as you can see, it's majority, it remains the same: the date, the municipality, the district, activity name. The amount requested, if we can stop here, this is where some problems were from last year, where you wanted to input that and it wasn't allowing you to for a few of you all. So I have it on an Excel spreadsheet, and the reason being is because it just works better with the formulas. It'll add everything up for you, and it's not as many clerical areas when you're like copying and pasting things on Excel. And then once you complete the application, you just save it as a PDF once it's completed, and everything will be well and swell. I tested it out myself this year. So if we go down, one of the major changes has been in proposed eligible use section. There's a select one option. Prentice, if you can go on the select one. So now there's a drop down for our most frequent, we can't see it right now, but yay, see, he is our guru. Thank you, Prentice. So a few of our most common projects, like I have just mentioned, street improvement, parks, recreational facilities, ADA, senior center, community center, home rehab, and other. So other, if you select other, next to it, you'll be instructed to enter a definition for other. So that may be, if you select other, master planning or other demolition, something other than one of those very common projects that we normally see coming through. And then in the activities section, that's just a brief description up under, just a brief description of the project. The next major change has been in the proposed location type. Let me put emphasis on select one only. I've seen a lot of applications come through, and there has been several selected, and then when we're in the scoring committee, I'm the moderator, and we're like, well, which type of project is it? So then I have to contact people, and then we have to decipher what type of project. So to eliminate that and make it more efficient and effective, I separated it. So if you pick one, do not cross that line and pick another one, please. So there's the LMI area benefit, limited clientele, and there's a clause here. If it's limited clientele is selected, you will need to provide demographic data for all recipients, which include their race and ethnicity and income levels. I have created a form to help you all capture that information, and also I am available to assist you if you need any assistance in knowing where to go to get that information that you need. It is available because I find it when I'm reading your proposals. So, and then the last one is ITIA, which is an improvement target area or blight area benefit. So if you pick blight area benefit, you have to go out and do a study, and then that's where it says the slum blight designation year. But if you pick ITIA, I provide those maps for you. You do not have to contact our planning department. I will provide those maps for you. I will assist you in reading through them and let you know the percentages, and if it qualifies based off that. So you can contact me if you do need that assistance with that. And below, you list the census tract area. And put the X on the mark. So that hasn't really changed, but just a tip on that is that you are allowed to use that neighboring on the border census tract to help you meet those percentages that are required, the 51%. We'll have questions at the end. But to help you all meet the 51% requirement or 44% requirements, there is a way on those maps where you can combine those census tracts. Okay. And then if we go down to fair housing, and this is again, if it's applicable to you all, and if you did do training, we need to know the date, the location, the provider. Then if we can go down to the next part, this is important because there's been changes on this as well in previous participation. So the significant change on this is we have the previous CDBG award, year award amount, but the significant part is the amount submitted for reimbursement and the date of your final. That is the date of your final reimbursement to me. When did you send in that final request to get the last of the monies that you're going to use for this project, for your programs? What is that date? That is crucial. It needs to be in there. And balance is if you were awarded $150,000, you used $147,000, so your balance would be $3,000. So we need to be able to track that and know how much did you use of that money that we awarded you, and the date, because it is crucial because we are timed on our timeliness. And so we have to hold you to that timeliness because that helps us to be able to continue to receive the funding that we receive to help you all in our communities. And if we go down to environmental, this states that there are environmental reviews are required prior to start of your project. I know some of you have received emails from me like, I need this documentation or that so that I can get this environmental review done so you can go and get this project started. So I work really fast on those. So if you can work with me, if it's anything about environmental reviews, we need that immediately because you cannot start your project without me completing your environmental review. Okay, and activity summary. So this is another change. If you remember from our old application, the additional funding was in the beginning, but no longer. It's down here. So you don't have to worry about inputting, if you can scroll back up to the top. Thank you. You don't have to worry about inputting your total activity cost. It will auto-populate for you. And I'm gonna show you how, if we can go back down. Thank you, Prentice. Okay, so this is crucial. CDBG grant amount requested, this will auto-populate down here. So that'll be, you can ask for up to $150,000. Let's say it's $150,000. And then it goes down to other federal funds. And Prentice, if you click on right next to up under other federal funds, there's a drop-down box. No, right next to, up under funds approved, I'm sorry. Yeah. Right up under, the next one down, go down. Yep. So I'm gonna have to turn that blue, I just see that now. So there's a yes or no. So this basically, any other funding for your project besides our award to you, has it been approved? That is crucial. We need to know yes or no. Any state, local funds, private funds, other funds. So there'll be a drop down for each question of funding. Has it been approved? Because we need to know. It's very crucial. And then next to it, there'll be an anticipated receipt date. That's actually a field. I'm going to make that blue, I see now. And we just need to know the date, your anticipated date that you'll receive the other state funding, the private funding. What is your anticipated date? And then once you enter that, if it's zero, if you're just using our money, just enter zeros all the way down at the end where it's blue at, and it'll total up your entire total of your project costs. It'll total everything for you. And then activity summary, we just changed this a little bit now because we need the start anticipated start and completion date. So the summary must include what the project or activity is, where it is and or will be located, and why it is needed. What is the anticipated start and completion date of the proposal? And it must begin within a term agreement, which I'll send that information out to you all during the application process. And if applicable, please provide demographics of who will be benefited from this project. So one of the issues our scoring committee was coming into was we would read these out and they would go over them, and just the activity summary, they had no idea in some of these who was going to be serviced from this. Then if we go to our activity impact, and this is a crucial portion, the application must describe who will be served, describe how low and moderate income persons benefit directly from the activity, and how CDBG income guidelines will be verified if applicable. Applications will explain how the proposed solution fits strategically with other development activities already planned and underway in the community or surrounding areas. They also would like to know how this funding is a catalyst for additional growth. If applicable, please provide demographics on who will benefit from this project. And I included a website for you. This website, the Quick Facts under census.gov, this is great. It gives you a lot of information. As soon as you click on that, and it kind of like sums it up, because if you just go to census.gov, they can give you a slew of information, like it's so much. But the quick facts portion, once you put in your municipality, it kind of gives you like a great breakdown of things. And then you'll be able to answer, and this is the estimate, a good, strong estimate from you all, how many will be served, how many will be served outside of your community. And for example, North Olmsted, they submitted a previous year application. They were able to show numbers of how many people came through their senior center. They were able to display neighboring communities that came into their community center and benefited from their programs there. How many low and mod will benefit? Again, that is a national objective of this funding program. And also provide a breakdown of ethnicities and attached documentation. I've been talking so much. And attached documentation. Again, you can find that on the website that I provided. Okay. And then if we can go down to the activity implementation schedule. This is crucial because this can be potentially the easiest 15 points that you can get because you're basically just giving me a great rough timeline. But it can't be a sentence. I need it broken down to show your legislative dates, the dates of reimbursement, the dates that you're going to do your bid, the dates that you're going to potentially submit your last reimbursement and close out the project. These are strong, rough estimates. You can use your timeframes from previous projects, get together with your engineers and everyone, and come up with a great, solid timeline. Because past performances will be considered in that timeline. And so basically the 15 points won't be awarded if past performances does not include on-time reimbursements and monthly activity reports, wage compliance, a return of required and requested documentation, and adherence to specified contractual project completion dates. So what I mean with the required and requested documentation, we all know that I'll send you out an agreement. But then our procurement team, as well as myself, will contact you for additional required information such as certificates of insurance, workers' comp information. There's critical documentation needed to fully execute these contracts. And we want to get these fully executed so that we can get the ball rolling and get you all your money back. So it's very crucial that those are adhered to in a timely fashion. Again, I cannot stress enough the timeliness of this entire process. And then if we go down, I believe that's the end of it here. And yeah, so that remains the same. Then you sign it and you get it back to me. And I'm going to give it over to Kelly Glenn.
Okay. And this application will be available to everyone August the 15th and due back October the 15th. So that's much, much earlier than prior to. Yeah, we're taking questions.
Who had the question? Okay.
On the actual application where you're doing the activity summary and the rest of that, are we still going to be cutting and pasting and putting that into the document, or will you be able to type it right in there?
You can actually type it right in. So the reason why I did it on the Excel is just to make it more effective. So you could just type right on in there, and it'll just keep going and rolling for however much, whatever story and picture you need to point, like it'll work.
Yeah, Sarah, myself, and DeRay, and another staff member made this application more user-friendly because we knew that you guys were having all of those different problems. But at the same time, the committee reviewers were having issues with some of the information and how you were giving it to us. So that's why we did the application over.
Can these funds be used in implementation and planning for a planning project for low-mod areas?
Can you be a little bit more
So
specific?
say if we have a strategic plan in a low-mod area that we're trying to, get some of our goals realized, can this be used as implementation for that plan?
That would be part of your master plan. So if you're going to do a master plan, you would put that inside your master plan, and yes, then you could do that. Oh, I thought she was going to ask a question.
Are there any more questions?
I just got a quick one, and just a simple one. We're all grateful for the awards we get, the 150,000. But has there been any talk of, reaching out to the federal government to increase the appropriations that they give us? Where, for instance, you could bump them up to $150,000 projects anymore with resurfacing or streets,
I love the side
That was supposed to be
Can you get us like a $1 million award?
Okay.
Save you from yourself. So I'm going to respond to that. Paquita is laughing because how long have we been hearing this request? When Kelly indicated to you before, like our CDBG allocation is around 4 million. The city of Cleveland's is 19. We don't know how HUD, what their formula is to determine the allocation. What we do know is Calgary County serving 51 communities gets significantly less. Our lobbyists are aware, other people are aware. I don't think they've ever changed the formula since they created the program,
No.
which is why we
and-
are where we are.
One of the things I just wanted to add as a former employee of HUD, I don't even know what the formula is that they use. I have no idea. So if you think that the HUD workers know, we don't. It's the ones in Washington, D.C. that know. And I can tell you as a former employee of the city of Cleveland, when I first got to Cleveland, they were getting like 25 million, but now they're at 19 million.
So what I will say is we have discussed, do we change the amount which would decrease the number that we can provide, especially when the new administration came and I had to update them on how we use these dollars. They asked questions like, well, could you increase this? Like if we increase it per community, then we decrease the number of grants. So we've looked at that. We've looked at if you received funding, say in 24, then you couldn't apply for 25 to give other people the opportunities. I already knew that wasn't gonna fly with y'all. So, but yes, we've had a variety of conversations about how do we do this. Some of you old faces, some new faces, some of you remember, and I'm so glad she's here, when Paquita ran the program and the stuff that was happening way back then. And even then, we've changed, we've modified. This seems to be where we've landed with the 150,000, which allows us to do 10. Sometimes we can do more because what we do, just so you understand, is if a city doesn't use their money, that happened with a few contracts during COVID, that folks just couldn't get it done, we carry it forward to the next year. So it doesn't go away. So when you see us do 12 or 14, that's why. We've got carryover funds and we add them back to the program. We're not obligated to do that because the agreements the cities have with us doesn't say that, but as a matter of good practice, the allocation was for the 40% going to the community, so we put it back into communities. So sorry, Joe, no, we're not. We're not getting $1 million. Joe Biden.
So, because I wanted to make a comment on what Sarah said, because initially we received 21 applications for fiscal '23, and we are funding 20 of them. Because initially we were only going to fund 16, but we added 4 additional ones because what she said, there were communities that couldn't get their projects done. So we just rolled that money over, and that's how we were able to fund the additional 4. So that's a perfect example of that. Any other questions? Did we have
We
comments
have
from
comments
online?
Online, Prentice. And for those of you who are virtual, please make sure that you input your municipality so that you can receive those 5 bonus points.
They already are. Yeah. You don't see any? Okay.
Okay.
What? Gotta give her the mic.
I know we've never done this, but I think it's important. With our home funds, the Home Investment Partnership Act, we have a home consortium. Members are Cuyahoga County, the cities of Cleveland Heights, Euclid, Lakewood, and Parma. So those home funds come directly to the county as the fiscal agent, if you will, for that consortium. When Kelly indicated earlier, we use the bulk of that money to do affordable housing projects. So we get developers who are for-profit or not-for-profit, who are looking to do affordable housing in a community, and it's gap financing. So it's generally $450,000 we will add to the project. We have done them all over the county. We normally can only do about 2 or 3 because of the limitation in the funding that we get. But I wanted to bring that to your attention. We are uber focused on increasing affordable housing. In Cuyahoga County, limitations right now is the money that we receive. We have our fingers crossed for, I think some of you heard this summer, or actually it was last fall, we prepared an application to HUD for a new program called Pro Housing. And the Pro Housing application will provide up to $10 million. We were supposed to hear back by January. It is June. We're still waiting. So everybody cross your fingers, pray, whatever you do. Put your pajamas on backwards and inside out. Because that funding will allow us to address some of the affordable housing issues that we have here in Cuyahoga County. We are working in concert with our zoning commission. And so some of you know that they are already talking about transportation-oriented development, and they are also available to help you if your zoning needs updating. So feel free to call the planning commission and say, hey, Sarah said you can help us update our zoning, and they'll be more than happy to talk to you and work with you about that. The other funding, which is the ESG, that goes to our homeless services department. And some of you are aware of like the continuum of care. So all that ESG money flows through the continuum of care to assist those who are unhoused or possibly on the verge of being unhoused. So I just wanted to just do a quickie on the other two fundings that you guys don't see. But feel free, if you have a developer that is looking at land or a building in your city to rehab and they have a gap, let us talk to them so that we understand their project, so that, you know, possibly they can put the application in when the funding becomes available. We do a lot of this in the city of Cleveland because we don't get developers in our suburbs, and I want to see the developers in our suburbs provide affordable housing at the high level that they provide when they are creating new construction in the city of Cleveland. There's a new one in Maple. I forget that, they changed the name on me. Yeah. Yeah, but it, it had one name, and that happens. It had one name when they brought it to us, and then they changed the name. But it's like that. The mayor and the city administration, including Paquita, meeting with the developer saying, we have land over here. And the developer making it work, going to the state and get funding, that kind of thing. So if you have it, let us know and we'll try to help. Yes, sir. Okay.
Thank you. Is there a specific gap on affordable housing, or sorry, a cap on gap funding for affordable housing?
We provide 450,000. We have been known to provide 500. We used ERA, the Emergency Rental Assistance 2 money allowed us to also provide affordable housing gap financing. We did those at $1 million a pop because we got a deadline on when those funds have to be used. But the home money from HUD is generally 450. The Housing Consortium has been known to go to 500 if needed. So, and our focus, just so you guys know, and that's why I'm telling you, preference is given to those affordable housing projects that are in our suburban communities. So if I've got a Cleveland and a Seven Hills takes precedent over the City of Cleveland project because the suburban communities is our target area. The City of Cleveland gets their own home dollars, more than us, again. So that remains their target area. Beacon Grove is the latest project we did, and that was in Maple Heights, and it's a senior project. It is absolutely gorgeous. So if you get a chance, call Paquita and she'll make arrangements for you to go and visit. But those, I mean, it doesn't have to be senior, but think about the land use that you have in your communities, and if you need names of developers, I don't recommend, but I can give you like 3 or 4 local developers in town that are doing affordable housing. Any more questions? Okay, I'm gonna go away now. Turn it back over to staff.
Okay, if there's no other questions, we appreciate everyone coming, and don't forget to get your parking pass in the back. And we thank everyone for coming. Oh, wait a minute, there's a comment. Oh, yeah, and the draft will be, of the plan, the action plan will be online today by 5 o'clock. Remember, it is a draft. There are a few more updates we're going to be doing, but we'll have that draft on there today. It'll be online. Okay, and thank you, everyone, for coming.
Thank you all.